Good afternoon, everybody. If I start squinting, it's because I forgot to bring glasses in here. As you can tell by the background, this is not my normal room. This is actually the dining room, which is slowly being converted into my personal space for Bible study or studies of any form, drafting, whatever I decide to do in here. Um, I have some before pictures of what the dining room looked like before I started cleaning. Granted, it's not 100% done yet because there's a lot of stuff in here that I need Jerry Ann in here to basically help me with because it's her stuff from basically a lot of stuff from the birthday. So I'm gonna kind of do a panning of the room. Um, so if my phone gets shaky, that's why. This is what's left from the tabletop. It's a lot of glassware that I don't know what to do with, so Jerry Ann needs to basically decide what she wants to do with it. This is what's left on the actual table itself. That over there where we have what we call a forever tree, that's going to either get taken down or moved to a different location in this room. And that's basically a lot of stuff that Jerry has to help me with because it's either from her party or just various things as is. That nice picture up there is basically a portrait that was done of my father, myself as a baby, and mom. That's Grandma and Grandpa Henson up there on the wall. And behind me is Grandma and Grandpa April. Um, my phone learned how to turn on its own, so I'm sorry. But that's a panoramic shot. That right up there, which you might not have seen, is actually a portrait of Jenny Ann's either grandmother or great grandmother. I don't remember. Those four portraits, well, they may or may not stay. Depending on where I set up my table and how I set up my camera in the future, depends on where I'm going to put that. Well, there's two tapestries. One of them I know I'm taking in here. The other one I don't know. Being that my table is going to be in that one corner where the forever tree is going to be, and I will probably be either facing the far wall, which has the red curtains over there, or this H hutch, which was basically my father had it commissioned, and the H scroll work on the hutch itself was very difficult to do. The gentleman had to do it 3 different times to get it perfect. And that was done in the Philippines. So this is like the hutch itself is mahogany. The scroll work, I think, if I remember right, is cherry wood or another type of wood that looks like mahogany. So the doors themselves are mahogany, but the H and scroll working within it is cherry wood or some other hard dark wood, but not mahogany because mahogany is a royal pain to carve, they say. But the one tapestry, which is the Viking ship, will either be hanging off the H cabinet or off the curtains. I'm thinking the curtains because the curtains are bigger. And then the one that looks like a faux library wall, if I decide to take that down, may or may not go on this wall behind me where Jerry's grandmother, that one portrait. If I go to do that, I'm probably going to move that one portrait, but I'm not sure. The only one portrait in here that I'm kind of like I don't really want in here, I don't want it to be looking at me, is the family portrait with me as a baby because one, I don't, well, maybe my hair was that light, but it's just one of those pictures that I don't like. Um, the portrait, well, there's a couple of different reasons why I don't like it. One, it looks like an art school project. Me and Jay agree with that. And two, I don't like myself as a baby. I don't like any of the pictures I've ever seen of myself as a baby. I'm just kind of like, nah. That can't be me. That can't be me. Um, but as you can tell, I'm probably about 40 to 50% done in this room, short of dragging in stuff and moving furniture around. There's stuff underneath. I'm looking underneath my table going, ooh, there's stuff underneath here that I need to deal with. The thing is I don't know if I'm going to be working on the chairs that I'm working on. Let me see if I can tilt it. It's an IKEA chair with a slip cover. Hope I can get a better picture of that later. They're okay for sitting for short periods of time, but if I'm going to be in here for long periods of time doing projects, these chairs are not going to be comfortable for me. I can already tell you, because the cushions aren't that great. And the way I'm sitting on this one, which is not the right way of sitting on it, this would be the right way of sitting on it. The frame itself, where the cushion sits, kind of digs into my butt, my thigh, whatnot. And they might be a decent height to work on this chair, but I'm hoping to bring my rolling chair in here, my office chair, and seeing how that works, and possibly getting one for in here, or just using the one from the office in here, and not having a chair at that desk unless I plan on working at it. I know somebody just asked me, am I planning on bringing my roll top desk in here? No, because of the table and the buffet. Now, the table, I would love to move out into actual kitchen area and using it, even though it's a little bit bigger than what we currently have, so there might not be as much room for movement. So it's kind of like that. In a factor, it was a royal pain in the butt to get into this room, and I'll show you why here in a second. But I'm working on this room. I've got, like I said, about half done, or pretty close to half done. But let me show you what we have to deal with. I am going to, no, better not. That might cause it to go off. As you can see, this table is pretty big. It's pretty long. It's oak, I do believe. Hard. It's basically a hardwood. And let's see if I can do this with my phone still in its carrier. La-di-da. So the table's pretty high, and you see it. We've got, I don't know if you can see that or not because of the lighting, but there's a cross beam here. There's like a pyramid shaped cross beam where the legs are, and in order to get that on both sides through this door, yep. And around basically this passageway from that door was very difficult, because you had to basically bring it all the way into the kitchen, straighten out, go towards the dining room door. Sorry about the darkness. And my phone wanting to twist on its own. So basically get through, sorry about that, folks. What is wrong with this thing? It's going to be fun to watch because I don't edit that much. Now, if my wife was here, she'd help me edit the crap out of this. Excuse my language. But you now know basically what's going on in that dining room, and the reason why we don't remove that dining room table unless we absolutely, utterly have to. Because between the table size, the table heft, as in the weight, and the just general movement or moving of that table is very difficult. I would say that table is probably anywhere between 30 and 60 pounds worth of hardwood. Now, those table legs used to be pretty well busted up. The cross beams that goes in between the legs were old and worn and basically just falling apart. My father-in-law, who was very good with woodworking and whatnot, was able to fix it and put new cross beams on there and stain the wood the same color. Excuse me, I'm looking for too big. But the legs themselves were a little wobbly and whatnot when we first got them, and then they got worse over age because of wear and tear and trying to move them and getting them banged around and all that fun stuff around corners. And how did I do that? Jerry's father, my father-in-law, when we got it up to New York and he saw how bad off it was, he was like, "Oh, I can fix that, no problem. I just have to find some 2x4s, some scrap wood, basically." And he basically, measured, cut, trimmed, placed them on there, put screws in there to attach it to the legs, and made everything a whole lot better. So the table is more sturdy, it's stronger, it's same weight as it was before. Of course, back then I was kind of a little bit weaker than I am now. I've gotten a lot stronger with my jobs here in Missouri. Sorry. A lot of areas that need editing, but I'm gonna have trouble editing, so I'm gonna leave it be. But we have, I know I said this in other videos, we have a laundry list of projects. Now, Jerry is currently in Texas still. From what I understand, she's bringing, I said this before, she's bringing Emily and Emily's youngest son up here. And Emily's basically practically volunteered herself to help out with cleaning projects and some of the starting rearranging. I'm just hoping that, darn it, I'm sorry, today's been one of those days. Starting the projects with, I'm gonna stop that, Jim, just stop. One of the projects which I'm hoping Emily starts, or helps Jerry start, is the crafting room. They're going to go in there and start cleaning it and fixing it up and hopefully start doing rearranging of the furniture. I don't know how long Emily plans on being here, so I don't know how long it's going to, what they're going to do and how long it's going to take them to do. I'm thinking that Emily's probably only going to be here about a week, maybe less. I don't know. But, oh look, I forgot to do this. It's January 1st. Happy New Year's, y'all. Worked up and busy, and just my mind is all over the place because I literally, when I went to bed last night, I was kind of like, I literally want to basically just start all the projects. I wanted to literally just go in and start cleaning up the dining room and cleaning up and getting the dining room the dining room, which is no longer going to be a dining room, it's going to be my office. Now, there's a lot of stuff I love to do in there. There's a lot of stuff I want to do in there, but I have to deal with Jerry. Mom's already kind of like, well, if you guys want to get rid of the dining room furniture, you can. I understand why. One of the main reasons why we took it in when my Aunt Helen, who was the previous owner, passed away. Was it Aunt Helen's or Grandma's? I don't know now. But it was one of Mom's family members. Dad decided to take it. It was like, oh yeah, we're taking that. The only thing left out of the chairs is one chair which Mom has in her room, and I don't want to use it because it's old, it's weak. I don't have the skills nor the money to have somebody fix it. My father-in-law didn't fix it because we didn't even think about fixing the chairs back then because most of them were pretty well shot, except for that one. Uh, but I would love to do in that room if Jerry would let me, which would mean probably getting rid of at least the dining room table, or moving the dining room table into the eating area of the kitchen, which I don't know if that dining room table would be big enough, or the current the current dining room set chairs, the right height. But we have the four? No, there's six. I think there's 6 IKEA chairs that we have in the dining room, which I'm not going to use either. In fact, the 4 that are around the table are probably going to get stacked and put in a corner somewhere. I don't know yet. But Jerry has it all in her head the way she wants it, but I'm like, whoa, okay, we're going to work together on the dining room area because if I'm going to be using it, turning it into my space, I'm going to want it my way. Which is, to me, is only natural because she's getting the craft room. She got the craft room. She set it up her way. She wants to rearrange it her way. Fine and dandy. We got the bedroom. She got the plans or the vision of what she wants in there. Well, we both live in that room, so it's both our room. So I'm going to work with her and I'm going to put my input. But when it comes to the dining room, gym space, yeah, it's going to get changed the way I want to. There's a lot of extra service glassware that she had for her party, which I think she needs to go through and decide to purge some of it. I know there's a lot of stuff in the H hutch that is not purgeable because it's either hand-me-downs from family heirlooms, however you want to put it, or things that we got to commemorate our honeymoon and our marriage and things like that I won't get rid of. But all the extra glassware, all the extra, she's got a bunch of extra tall vases and whatnot. She don't need that many. So there's going to be a lot of things going on. It's the new year. I want to see a lot of changes. I want to talk to her about a lot of changes. She's already wanting to do a lot of the changes that I've already talked to her about, which is purging a lot of the old stuff. Possibly purging, hopefully purging a lot of her craft stuff. There's a lot going on, a lot of things that we're trying to do. Our health is getting better. We've both lost weight. She said that she's trying her best while she's down in Texas and whatnot to stay on a health food regimen. I'm kind of guilty of not. This past week has been one of those. I'm not ready. I didn't plan. Crying out loud. We don't have the money for a lot of the health foods that I would have been making, because we were in between pay periods. So I'm hoping tonight, tomorrow, Mom and I can sit down and start planning things better and getting the healthy foods back into our house. Like for instance, tonight is one thing that I would normally not make. Why we still have it in the house is I don't know. It's questionable. But tonight is going to be hamburger helper. I don't like the idea of making a box meal. But it's quick, it's easy, it's simple. I don't really have anything else right now planned out for tonight. But I'm going to be the smart one and have a small portion of hamburger helper with a big salad. I'm going to have a nice size. I call it a deep monkey dish. It's basically a deep. It's about this deep, about as round as a cereal bowl, but twice as depth of a regular cereal bowl. I'm going to basically turn that into a salad and eat that primarily. I will have a small bowl or a small serving portion of hamburger helper. I know a lot of people are like, you can eat anything you want to in moderation. Well, I know this for me because I have certain addictive personalities. If I start eating too much unhealthy stuff, I won't want. I'll have a hard time getting back on the bandwagon. But I think what's helping me stay on the bandwagon is because the fact that I've seen the improved health due to the foods. Less aches and pains, less stomach issues, feeling more full and not feeling like bloated, or I'll be hungry in an hour. Like they say with Chinese food, you'll be hungry in an hour, that kind of thing. And that's because factor most of the unhealthy foods are artificial foods with a lot of starches, a lot of chemicals and whatnot that we really shouldn't be eating. That and a factor with like Hamburger Helper, it has a lot of starchy foods that fill you up quickly, but one, they're not satisfying, and two, they don't keep you full. So that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to stay away from the Hamburger Helper type of stuff. But one night shouldn't kill me. Even though the last couple of nights I've been working nights, so it's like, except for yesterday, Monday and Wednesday, which I worked nights, we had omelets. Tuesday I was off. I can't remember what we had. And then today's Thursday, right? Yeah, today's Thursday. No. Today's either Thursday or Friday. No, today's Friday. I worked yesterday. Today's New Year's Day. I was supposed to be off, but I had to go. I ended up going in. The one girl that was supposed to come be in this morning and was off last night. Basically, they called her, and because she was a little late. I don't know why did they call her? Oh, they called her to basically check on her to make sure she was coming into work because of the way the weather was. It was icy and very slick at work. In fact, I got to work, and the roads that I drive are highways. They're interstates. So those were cleared. They were maintaining those roads, but our entry point and parking lot was an ice skating rink. So when I pulled in and I went to slow down my car by pumping the brake to get to into a parking spot, yeah, I slid into home. That's all I can say. I literally slid into my spot. So that was fun. Not. I don't really want to do it. I came home, and like minutes after I got home, it was snowing. I finally got snow. It's not a white Christmas this year, but it was white New Year's, or is white New Year's. Something like that. And of course, tomorrow I have to go to work in the morning time, which I like going into work at a decent hour. But when I had a hard time sleeping last night, I didn't fall asleep until after 2 o'clock in the morning. Surprisingly, I was awake when the phone started vibrating to let me know somebody was calling. And lo and behold, it was work. But more money in my bank account. And I found out something today. I don't know how the person. I don't know how. I don't know how Lisa, who's basically she's a coworker, but not an official manager. She's basically been in charge of opening the stores lately. Found out today that we are getting a pay increase. Not as high as $11 like the rest of the state, or certain parts of the state, I should say. But still, it's a pay increase. Anyhow, that in a factor because we worked today is considered time and a half. Yay! So for the trying to figure it out. 2.5, 3 hours that I worked. That's time and a half right there. So I'm happy about that. Not happy it was only 2 hours, but I could have stayed longer. But the thing is because we were basically a dead day, we had maybe 2 or 3 people come in between 11 and 12:30, whatever time it was I left work. And I looked, I don't know if it's the machine or how, I still do not understand how our store calculates hours or calculates labor. And we have a policy that if labor goes over 16, and there's more than 2 people there, sometimes more than one person there, everybody else needs to go home. We can function on one person if it doesn't get busy. Well, when the 12 o'clock person came in, which I was going to go home at 12 o'clock anyhow because today was supposed to be my day off, he came in a little late, which I understand because of the way the weather was. I checked labor, and labor was at like 71%. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to be a good day. So I came home at 12:30. Who knows what tomorrow's going to be like, because I'm supposed to be there at 10. Supposed to be there at 10, work until 3 or 4. My opening person comes in at 9. Usually that's when the opening person comes in at 9 o'clock to start everything. And then our new GM comes in at 12. So if he comes in at 12 and it's another dead day like it was today, I'm probably going to get sent home early again. But we'll see. Anyhow, that is today's update and adventures of the insanity called my life. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the question comment box. If you're a new subscriber and choose to join, go ahead and click on that there's a button that says subscribe. You can click on that and YouTube will let you know when I put in a new video. Until next time, have a good day. Bye.